Well, welcome. I see there's people here already. I know the countdown. We don't have to be strict with the countdown clock here. Let me take this off. It's after 2 anyway. Welcome, everybody. So nice to be with you as always. Just let me get our special guest for the day, Monica. Let me get you on screen here. I think I have it on speaker view. Yeah, we are going to be working through, tapping through cravings today. And we're lucky to have Monica. If you haven't watched the conversation we had on the channel, you've got another treat you're in for with that because that was a really, really interesting conversation. But today we actually get to do tapping itself. So thanks for being here, Monica. Nice to see you again.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, and we will be, like I said, working on cravings. But while people are showing up, and I see some people in the chat, hello, Monica's going to give us a little just introduction to the topic and why EFT is actually really good for this. And we thought, in the spirit of Halloween, you can't walk into a store and not see all of the, and then after it, you're going to have all the discount candy. You're going to like 8 pounds of Cadbury eggs for like 50 cents. So it's not bad to have a tool here to be able to keep it all under wraps.
Yeah, it is perfect timing for Halloween, and then we're rolling right into the holidays. So to actually have a tool that helps you, the way I like to think about EFT and cravings is what it offers you is the choice to eat the treat, not the compulsion or the need to eat the treat. Um, yeah. So one thing that I love to hold space for is just huge compassion, because why do we reach for the salty snack or the sweet treat? It's usually in an effort to regulate our nervous system. And it's so subtle. Most of us don't even know that there's some sort of discomfort that happens right before we reach. And food is known as what's called an auto regulator. So if you don't have a trusted person or pet there that can help you calm down, or there's not a way to self-soothe, food is a really trusted companion for most of us when we're feeling something uncomfortable. And again, it's usually at such a subtle level. So we want to offer you a tool that helps you to actually soothe those feelings or have a way to feel more comfortable in a healthier way. And then food becomes a choice.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. And that, it's emotional freedom technique, not emotional strict diet technique, right? So it's that you have the option to take what is when you want to have something and you feel like it's fine for you and you don't have strict rules. Because I was just saying before this, I never thought of myself as, I would say, like, yeah, I'm totally good with food, but I was actually really, really strict in a way that even if I would still, like, quote unquote, let myself have things, but then I'd kind of almost be keeping score, like, well, you did have that piece of chocolate, so you can't. And so even if you're someone who would describe themselves, yeah, I eat healthy, I don't have overwhelming urges for things. The emotional relationship with food is deeper than you think, even if you don't think you have a particular challenge around it. This is a good one to tap along with, even if you're not thinking like, oh, I really struggle with this. And if you do struggle with it, you're going to really find this to be a really helpful thing in your toolbox. So Monica, I know you had a way of sort of setting the stage to this to get into the process, and then we can tag team on what that brings up. And for anyone in the chat, as we do this, you can bring up at any time particular challenges you face with this, or if while Monica is presenting this setup for you, specific things that are coming up for you, we will incorporate those.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, it's definitely often there is a lot of shame around giving into a craving, especially if you have a goal and you're saying, I'm not going to do this anymore. Um, but what's really happening is a uncomfortable feeling is coming up. And so our subconscious is giving us a way to distract. So that craving starts to override whatever feeling we don't want to feel. But the problem is when we give in to the craving, especially if it is in a way sabotaging a goal, then there's the shame afterwards. And so it's kind of a cycle. Then we feel more uncomfortable. The uncomfortable feeling is still there. And now there's shame on top of it. So we just, again, emotional freedom. We want to give you some beautiful ways to help with that. Um, I like to dive in with having my craving of choice here. And I think Evan has it too. So you are welcome to either have your chips, your soda, your coffee, your chocolate, but we don't want you to eat it. So that's kind of the torturous part of this. And again, if you feel like eating it at the end, have at it. We're starting to break that automatic cycle with the pause, with the emotional regulation before giving in to the substance. So, my setup would be get your treat or vividly imagine what you would want to eat. And we get to utilize exposure here, like actual situation exposure if you have your little treat. So um, Evan, I want to make sure we're on the same page. Do you want to start this off with the exposure, or do you want me to just
Sure, I'll do it.
continue?
I'll take it from here, and then
Yeah.
we'll switch off. So as you are picturing it, thinking about the thing, whatever that may be, and it's okay, I would say too, if your mind is kind of picking at different things that you might have different reactions to. For me, it might be almost like in a candy section, and I'm seeing different parts of my brain fire as I look at the Sour Patch Kids and then the chocolate and then the kind of back and forth, right? And you can start tapping anywhere you'd like. And what I'd invite you to tune into is just first be a little bit observational, right, of the different qualities that are coming up. So you may be having a very visceral, like whatever, mouth-watering type of thing, a feeling in your body, but also welcome up any commentary that's coming up, like, oh, I'm not supposed to have that, a feeling of exercising willpower, right? Whatever the cascade of thought, feeling, emotion it brings up for you is. The first thing, for me at least, is to just become aware of it. And as always, because of the way we're doing this, Nico said lemon wafer cookies. Yep. Feel free to put in any of the particular things that you might experience. Like, yeah, I start to actually taste it in my mouth, right? For me, like with the Sour Patch Kids, I can remember that particular, like, I don't know what the word is for that sourness in my mouth and just liking how that feels. And then even the sugar rush, right? My body can kind of respond to that. So for some of you, it may be more physical. For some of you, it may be more emotionally dominating, right? Guilt, shame, trying to convince yourself not to have it. And go ahead and just allow whatever's there to be there. You can notice how intense it is. If you want to give it a score, that's fine out of 10. And what we'll do is we'll just do a little bit of tapping here to set the stage, to kind of create a space where all of these different thoughts, feelings, and emotions, sometimes more than you might expect, because these are so habitual. Like you've had these reactions to candy or bread, even like, oh, I can't have carbs, right? This stuff is so automatic and so part of the culture that we don't realize how much is actually going on there. So tapping on the side of the hand, and feel free to put them in the chat during the round too. I'll read them out. So even though when I see or even think about these particular, and go ahead and fill in the word, lemon wafer cookies, Sour Patch Kids, I'm noticing these reactions in my body. I'm noticing emotional reactions and judgments and labels. Good, bad, healthy, unhealthy. Cheating, a treat, Just choose to honor and accept myself and all this information. So even though just even thinking about or even looking at this fill in the blank actually brings up a lot in me. I just choose to notice this, allowing any reactions and judgments, just having compassion for whatever comes up around this. And even though the mere sight or even thought of just a simple food, drink, actually creates this whole set of reactions in me, which is kind of amazing. I'm just allowing myself to notice and welcome as best I can what these reactions are, what these judgments are, and to honor and accept myself in this process. Okay, going through the points now and saying, just allowing myself to notice just how much reaction there is to the mere sight or even thought of this particular food, drink. It's actually really amazing to see. Whether I think it's a problem or not, I'm noticing how much is linked up to this. I may have memories, specific times in my life connected to this. I may have body reactions happening. I might be imagining the taste. I might be imagining reactions to it. I might be exerting willpower, running a program that says resist this. I might be kind of fantasizing about it. There's a surprising amount that might be going on for me. And I'm just allowing myself to really take this in. And my reactions to my reactions. Is it just, oh, that's interesting. That's kind of cool. I can remember what that tastes like. Or am I fighting this? Telling myself a whole narrative? Well, you're going to feel bad, you're going to gain weight, you got to fight this. I'm just noticing my set of reactions to this. And my emotional response to these reactions. It's not bad or wrong to like this thing, but I might judge it that way. So any reactions I'm having to this, I'm just thanking the awareness for being here and noticing what stands out for me. What makes this a source of stress? A source of a lot of willpower or energy? A source of inner conflict? Just wherever I feel that internal tension. and what's standing out the most for me, so that I can use that as a springboard to create a little more peace and freedom around this. Okay, we'll pause there, and I'll invite you to see if anything in particular kind of stood out. For example, maybe you know, the memory of the food might be happy and create no internal tension for you, but maybe there's some emotion of, I need to fight this. So I mean, Monica, your thoughts too, but point it to the one where you actually feel some sense of internal tension around it, some sense of, I'm like compulsively drawn to it, or I feel like I need to fight or resist. Because you don't need to get rid of a happy memory of ice cream or something if it doesn't create any uh, internal tension for you. But let us know in the chat if anything specific came up and we'll use it. But we'll kind of keep the ball rolling from there. So I will hand it your way.
Okay. Thanks, Evan. That was great. Um, so now that you've really tuned into your substance, and I love the way you led that, Evan, with imagining it. What is, what do you like about it? The crunch, the taste, the way it melts, and just let yourself really tune into those parts. And maybe there's a soothing when that chocolate hits your tongue. And there is some science behind this. We get two dopamine hits when we eat our food, once when we taste it and once when it hits our stomach. So let yourself feel what you like about it. As Evan was saying, noticing where there might be some tension in the body. And just meet that with the breath. We'll start tapping. Even though I love this sugary food, this chocolate, the way it smells, the crunch, the way it melts. Just take a gentle breath into whatever's coming up for you. And I'm choosing to be kind to myself. So even though I crave these sweets at my lunch break, after dinner, I just want something sweet. If yours isn't sweet, fill in the blank with whatever yours is: salty, crunchy, sour. I love this food. It just feels good. And I'm choosing to hold myself with compassion. So even though I really want to eat this snack, and it's hard to sit here and tap and not actually eat it if I'm looking at it, if I'm smelling it, choosing to be patient and to hold myself with some love and compassion. Start tapping through the points, top of the head. Ugh, this sugary snack, this chocolate with toasted almonds. I love the way they crunch. Outer eyes. Just fill in the blank. Think about your substance. Don't eat it. Look at the wrapper. Maybe you can smell it. And just notice what it does. Maybe there's a calming sensation that takes over your body, and just, again, just lean into whatever's coming up for you. My craving, my treat under the nose, my Reward. I love this food. I want this food. Chin. I want this sweet treat. Collarbones. Ah, my craving. Notice what it is doing. Is it a reward? Is it a way that you reward yourself after a stressful day, after completing a task? Through the arms and just feel what that is doing for your body. Just noticing where that is and meeting it with the breath. My treat, my reward. Eyebrows, I deserve this. I worked hard today. Outer eyes, I deserve this. My treat, my craving, my chocolate. And again, just gently meeting whatever might be coming up. Maybe you're noticing how it does calm the body. Of course, I would want to eat this. It makes me feel good. It just feels good when I do this. And I'm allowed to feel good. Collarbones, of course, I would want to feel good. So I'm choosing to hold myself in compassion as I explore this, as I explore my relationship to this food. Under the arms and notice again the negative feelings. If you give in, if you break your diet or promised yourself you weren't going to do it. Top of the head. I was trying not to eat my craving, my treat, my chocolate, and the eyebrows, and just notice that little bit of conflict that might be there. And breathe into it, see where it lives in your body, and just make space. Outer eyes, we're just exploring my relationship to this food. To the eyes, my relationship to this substance. Under the nose, and I am choosing to hold myself with compassion. So good. I just want to eat it. Collarbones, this conflict. I'm not supposed to eat it. I'm trying not to eat it. And just breathe into the conflict. Find it in your body. Meet it with the breath. This conflict, because I know it's going to make me feel good, at least for a while. I'm going to pass it back over to Evan.
Okay, great. So we'll also check in here, and it's a bit of a delay, so you'll be hearing this after I say it. And if you have anything in particular coming up, Lisa is here. Oh, hey, Lisa said that the colors used in the advertising are also by design. So yeah, the emotional reaction to the whole experience, right? Everything about this that is compelling in some way. And just also notice how nothing Monica is doing so far is like saying we're not doing anything to try to get rid of the feeling. We're actually voicing the desire. We're actually speaking directly to how you're craving this, how you're desiring it. Not like, okay, go away, I don't want you here, right? And because when we're fighting against it, it actually makes you want it more. It makes it kind of a forbidden fruit, right? So we're going to keep kind of leaning in this direction here of acknowledging what this represents for you. And we'll be continuing to, you might not realize it's happening, but what's happening is sort of breaking the emotional association between the food and all of these reactions that come up inside of you. So we'll continue here. I forget where we were, but I'll just start on the collarbone point here. And we'll say, yeah, just allowing myself to notice. But yeah, I do feel good when I have this. And why would I want to get rid of a good feeling? Why would I want to deny myself a good feeling? That just seems like the opposite of, self-care. Why would I want to just deny myself from something that gives a good feeling? But I'm also allowing myself to question, are we saying we want to get rid of the feeling? There's nothing wrong with feeling good. There's nothing wrong with feeling that sense of relief. There's nothing wrong with feeling like you're rewarding yourself. Feelings are totally fine. But where do I experience the feeling? The feeling of happiness or satisfaction. The feeling of, this feels nice. Where do I actually experience that? Yeah, I experience it in me. I experience the emotion, the feeling of it. And I wonder if it's true that chocolate or a soda or anything else has a magic chemical in it that's actually the cause of that emotion. It definitely triggers it. It definitely tastes good to me. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't need to pretend it doesn't taste good. But when I experience that taste, there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens where this feeling is trained to rise up within me. I respond to this taste that I like with all of these other positive feelings and emotions. And if it were true that the only way this body could feel any sense of happiness, could feel any sense of satisfaction or relief, was by, eating some chocolate, then we all should be eating chocolate. But the question to ask is is the chocolate actually the source? Is it actually what makes me feel happiness? It sure seems like it. I'm not pretending it doesn't trigger that emotion. But if the chocolate is, or if the treat is the only way that I could ever experience that good feeling, then of course no part of me will be able to let go of that. It would be a completely unreasonable proposition to say, let's just never feel that happiness again. So part of me will interpret this saying, why are you trying to tap away my happiness? Why are you trying to take away my, small little pleasures in life? And, and we can open up to the idea we're not trying to take those away. We're trying to free those emotional responses from feeling like they can only come from this treat. If I could feel happiness or satisfaction by eating something else or nothing, then the treat would lose some of its appeal. Maybe even 99% of its appeal. It might just be something that has a particular taste. So I'm letting everything inside me know this is not about denying or rejecting or taking away these positive emotional experiences. It's about allowing myself more opportunities to feel them. Because if I want to feel happy all day, and I have to eat candy bars all day to do that, well, that's a tough spot to be in. That's going to have some other consequences. And I'm going to be constantly fighting myself, saying, I just really want to feel good, but I'm trying to eat less of that. So we're continuing to ask the body, continuing to ask, just even checking my own experience. Where do I experience that emotion? Could I possibly experience it any other way? Because if so, that would be really helpful. It might be easier to choose to have this treat or not if it wasn't the only or the best source of feeling whatever this positive experience is. Okay, let's take a breath there. And I'd be very curious to see what reactions, if any, there are to that. If that actually opens a door, because I find sometimes people access that pretty naturally. We're like, oh yeah, I guess I actually could. I can, if I can feel some of that emotion just by imagining eating the candy, or if my mouth can water by imagining it, then maybe the candy's kind of a middleman that doesn't actually need to be there. Others might fight that internally. It's not a choice. It's just curious what the reaction is and be like, you're you're kidding. That's like that's a silly thing. It's never gonna actually be satisfying to not eat that. So be curious to see what that brings up. We can go either way with it if there are things in that regard. And yeah, Monica, see what direction that brings things for you.
I'm not able to see the comments, so
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah. So far, nothing new has come in, but they
okay,
haven't heard me say that yet because it's on a delay. But
okay,
I'll read them as they come in if they come in.
okay. Yeah, I was
But if you
just,
want to fill in any thoughts in the meantime, give people a chance to.
um, I was just gonna start to lean into what's happening before. Why do we need this substance to shift our mood? Again, it's really usually quite subtle. Um, and especially if it is a happy association, right? Our relationship with these foods, these things, they have all the memories of goodness, ice cream cones in the summer, going to the pool, having, some sugary snacks when we get out of the pool. So, birthday parties, things that it's not just the substance, it's all of our emotional memory that comes along that starts to create this good association. Um, and one thing I find really interesting, so if you're all willing to lean in with me, is to start to see what's happening right before. We, not that we don't always want to be happy, but usually there's something that's causing the need for this hit of happiness. And sometimes we can feel lonely, and the food will help us remember the connection and the fun times. And so, just if you're willing, maybe we start to lean into that. Um, yeah, food associated with anniversaries and a loved one passing. That's absolutely it. That food can help us feel connected to the person we're missing. So again, I think we'll start to lean in that direction. So side of the hand. So even though I feel and see what discomfort may, it might be a little harder to access, but maybe there is that missing a person or feeling lonely or feeling stressed. Just notice where that is in the body. We don't have to go too far into it. We're just going to hold a little space that there might be some discomfort that this food or this craving will help with. And I'm choosing to have compassion for what I feel. So even though I feel this, and name it, this stress in my solar plexus, I feel this hollow feeling in my heart. Just see where yours is, name it. Allow yourself to meet it with the breath and just make a little space. So often we want to just push right through it. That's why we eat the food. We don't want to feel this. Who would want to feel this stress, this loneliness? And I'm choosing to hold myself with love and compassion. So even though there's this discomfort in my stomach, this flutter, fill in the blank with yours, this flutter in my heart, this discomfort. Notice there's usually just a little discomfort before we want to make it better. And of course, I want to make it better. I don't want to feel this. It's uncomfortable. Again, gentle breath to just make space for that feeling we usually rush to push away. I'm choosing to remember that in this moment, I'm still okay, even with this discomfort. I'm okay. Top of the head, and just find yours. This hollow feeling in my heart, eyebrows, this tightness in my stomach. Who would want to feel this? Shut our eyes. Of course, I want to make this go away. I don't like this. I don't know how to be with this. I don't want to feel this. Stay with me if it's okay, and just breathe. Just trusting that we're sending a signal of safety every time we tap, helping the body realize that uncomfortable feeling is okay. It's just a feeling. Under the nose. Again, filling in with your own sensation if what I'm saying doesn't match. This fluttering, this tightness, this stress. I feel stress and I just want to relax. Collarbones. I'm missing my friends, my family. I'm missing the person that this reminds me of. And I don't want to feel that. I want to feel connected. I want to feel soothed. And just see if it's okay to be with that discomfort. Just trusting again, teaching the body it's safe in this discomfort. Who would want to feel this? Are you crazy? I'd rather just eat chocolate. Just breathe. This is uncomfortable, and I don't like being uncomfortable. My body doesn't like feeling this discomfort. Again, gentle breath, just making space for what we normally push away. Just see if you can be with it. Through the eyes. And I'm choosing kindness, choosing compassion for myself and my feelings. Of course, I want this to go away. And I know an easy way to do that. But then notice it doesn't last. And then you need more of the chocolate, of the chips. And I'm open to finding another way. Collarbones, another way to feel this soothing, this comfort, this safety. Gentle breath. Feel your sit bones in the chair beneath you. Feel your feet on the floor or any surface that they're on. And just allow yourself to breathe see if there's a little touch of calm that might come in just from tapping and being present, feeling the soothing of your breath. I'm open to a new way. My breath. I'm open to teaching my body a different way to feel safe, to feel comfort, to feel connection. And just breathing in, noticing if that sensation has softened. If it's gone up, it just means you're allowing yourself to feel it. And we just keep tapping. Open to the possibility of a new way so that I can make the choice when I enjoy my sweets, my treat, collarbones, so that I get to choose if I want that treat or not, because I have another way to feel safe and regulated in my body. And I'll pause there. Hand it back to you, Evan.
Excellent. Thank you. And we got another very interesting comment here in the chat that we can expand on a little bit as well. It says, I've substituted the craving of food with the craving of spending, such that I sometimes overspend and it creates both a sense of reward, yet a fear of overspending. I'm seeing more of this now. So that's an interesting one we can all kind of explore, not specifically spending, but just as you are looking at your emotional reaction to a food, for example, if what we're doing is suppressing it with willpower or just trying to kind of tiptoe or organize our life away such that like we never, see the bag of Halloween candy, it's gonna leak out somewhere else if what's underneath that isn't actually either resolved or found another pathway, like Monica was taking us through there, the feeling that connection, right? You're not going to be allowed to let go of that connection to your loved ones. So if your system is only associating with food as being the way to do it, it's either going to hold on to that or find some other outlet to get us there. So if you're finding that when I suppress or kind of, okay, I've seemed to have gotten some control over my food cravings, but now I'm spending, or now I'm like constantly spending time playing video games or something. It's generally some form of that same desire, some form of that desire for fill in the blank, searching for another outlet. And so what I like about this process is it helps us get more and more in touch with like a direct access to it, access to what we're seeking, more independent of an external stimulus or source. And then it's very Zen, right? And then just allowed to be exactly what it is. The chocolate is chocolate. It's not a source of happiness. It's just chocolate. If you like the taste of chocolate, that's fine. But there's lots of things I like, but I don't feel compulsively drawn to them because they don't represent something that I feel like I can't access any other way. So yeah, we were getting kind of close to the top of the hour. So what I'd invite up, I'll also see if anyone else puts anything else in the chat as far as any specific relationships with this. But I feel like leaning in more into that theme of connection. That seems to be, and I had a call just before this where it also went there, where a lot of these things come from a sense of lack of connection. And so these candies, whatever it is, video games, they're not inherently bad or wrong. unless you're allergic, then don't don't have it. But they're a substitute for some kind of connection. And like when you put it in your mouth and you get that like like that, you're back in connection with yourself, with your own emotions, your own whatever, right? And it was interesting because Lisa had put that about loved ones, and I'd never even thought of this, but I got vivid memories during Monica's round of being in my grandparents' house, who are not around anymore, but of like maybe I guess we're kind of close to Thanksgiving, but just certain like foods and stuff. I was like very vividly there. It's really interesting how that happens, but it's, in the process of this, it gets to be a nice memory. You get to just have that memory without feeling like, okay, I need to go eat like a pound of ham or something in order to reconnect myself with that experience. So allowing yourself to kind of tune into wherever you either, let's see how to play with this. The the particular craving for you, right? Or it may have morphed into a particular memory or a particular experience. Let's allow yourself to put attention on how that makes you feel connected. Whatever that means for you. It might be the connection to those people, those relatives. It could be a memory that just made you feel more connected to yourself in some way, connected to your friends or the people that you were sharing that experience with. And let's go to the side of the hand on this one. Let's say, even though I associate this craving with this deeper connection, I choose to honor and accept myself and allow myself to consider that I can access this connection directly. And so even though I associate having this, taste or smell or whatever with this particular type of connection, maybe what I really crave is the connection. And I allow myself to be open to having the connection directly. So even though I really am craving something, maybe what I'm craving is the connection. And I'm just opening up that I might have a more direct access to that connection. Then I can partake or not. But it won't be my only way to get connected. Let's go through the points now and just say, yeah, maybe I'm craving a connection. That food may taste good, but maybe what I'm craving on a deeper level is the way it makes me feel connected. Right? Beyond the sugar rush, beyond the dopamine hit, deeper than all of it. Maybe this makes me feel connected. And what's wrong with wanting connection? It's a pretty natural thing to want. It's a pretty good thing to have. You could make the argument that anything that feels good is really because it makes us more connected. Connected more to ourselves, connected with other people, connected with something bigger. And so if that's what I'm desiring, I am open to the potential that that connection is possible in a more direct way. No, no intermediary required. No candy necessary in order to experience connection. And if that sounds a little abstract, I'm going to try not to think too much about it. I know what it feels like to connect to something. I know what it feels like to connect to my own feelings versus when I try to push them away. When I feel into the desire for what I want, I'm connecting to that desire. Just allowing myself to tune in to connection being a natural thing. And that these foods or tastes or smells, they do trigger something, which is fine that they do that. But what they point to is something that's connected. A time or a place or a situation. Or I felt more connected to others and myself. And so I don't need to get rid of the connection. I'm actually inviting more of it. I'm actually allowing myself to explore. Yeah, maybe I can feel connected to those loved ones just by connecting to them. Maybe I can connect to those memories, those people, my own inner experience, even, just by doing it directly, just by inviting it, just by saying, let me think of that person. Let me remember that experience. And allow the feelings to arise. This is something I'm capable of, even if it requires some practice. So allowing myself to experience connection without requiring something in my mouth that tastes really good in order to experience that connection. So that I have more freedom to enjoy anything I want, or not partake in it, and be connected either way. Connected when I have the food, connected when I drink that thing, connected when I don't. Just separating anything external from the experience of connection, which doesn't require anything. All right, we'll take a breath there. See how that's feeling. Curious if that feels accessible. Yeah. And Monica, anything else you want to share on the subject?
No, I think it's really beautiful to hold the space again for what are we really looking for versus the substance. And I thought maybe a little sneak away might be nice since some feelings might have come up.
Oh
So
yeah, go for it.
good way
Yeah.
to end. Okay. Yeah. So this is just a nice way to kind of put away anything that might not have fully resolved. So, side of the hand, even though some stuff came up I wasn't necessarily expecting. Yeah, I thought it was just chocolate. Thought it was just some carbs. I had no idea what it was connected to. And again, just allowing yourself to breathe, making space. And I'm allowed to set anything aside I didn't fully clear, trusting that my body will continue to release anything I don't need. And I do have compassion for myself. So even though this might have surprised me, and I didn't realize it was about connection or missing something. And there may still be some feelings that I'm having, and that's okay. I'm allowed to set these aside, trusting I have done really good work today, and trusting that my body knows how to continue releasing anything I don't need. And I do have compassion for myself and my process. So even though some stuff came up I wasn't expecting, and I may have had some feelings that were a surprise, I'm allowed to feel my feelings and gently breathe. And I'm also allowed to set anything unprocessed aside so that I can continue on with my day. And I do hold myself with love and compassion. Top of the head, setting anything aside that might still be activated. Trusting that I have done really good work. Exploring this, letting myself make some new connections, letting myself feel connection in a new way, in a way where I have a lot more choice than I did before. Under the nose, I am setting everything else aside, knowing that I've done exactly what I needed to do and that I can return whenever I want. But for now, I've done enough. The collarbones, trusting my body knows what to do and will continue releasing anything I don't need without me needing to do anything else. Under the arms, setting everything else aside as I prepare to go about the rest of my day. And I like to end on the side of the hand. And for now, I've done enough. Just take a breath and really feel that permission when you have done good work, when you have done enough.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for that. Thanks for that process at the end there. That's a nice way to wrap things up for sure. And I'll see if there's any farewells in the meantime or any insights people have. In the meantime, Monica, I'm going to put your website in the chat here.
Great.
Um,
Thank you.
any other things going on we should know about? Or is it all on the website?
Um, no, it's mostly on the website.
Okay.
Yeah. All my offerings have been in person recently. So right now
Oh, interesting. Cool.
yeah, I've been doing some fun stuff in my community.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, if you're interested at all.
Where is that, like, geographically for people that might
I
be,
live
if
in
it, if they
the
are, if it is something you want to share? Yeah.
I live in the Lake Tahoe and Truckee area of
Oh,
Northern
cool.
California. Yeah, and my local hospital has been doing a wellness program for their employees. So it's been amazing to get to introduce tapping to some people who really need it. And so that's kind of opening up doors here.
Wow. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, that's a much needed environment for sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
Great.
And we
And
we did cravings.
yeah,
We did one because there's a lot of craving sweets in the break room.
yeah, yeah, that's true. When you work in a particular place where they're always around, as a musician, a lot of times it's there for me for free if I want it. All
Hmm.
sorts of things are free if I want them, and it's a good tool to have when it's not going to be in my best interest. And also on the channel here is been getting a lot of good feedback on that conversation that we had, Monica.
Oh,
Someone even
good.
spoke to me about it today, saying, "Oh, that was really interesting." So, definitely recommend checking that out. That's one you can listen to, while driving or walking. It's more of a conversational style about parts work, inner child work, getting into a lot of details, and that will certainly, if cravings are a bigger thing for you, which is probably why you are watching this. I see some of you are still here. That angle is, would you say, in my experience, very useful for this because a lot of the, you know, childhood associations are with foods and candies and like that. Can be a very bonding experience. So
Yeah.
adding that into the mix here can be uh, really, really effective.
Yeah, I agree. If you liked what we did today and you enjoyed the conversation that Evan and I had, the exploration of some younger associations and some deeper work is really a beautiful thing. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Great. Well, thanks again for doing this.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for being
having
here.
me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks everyone for being here live and for giving us good stuff in the chat to work with. And we'll keep you posted on the next one. And we will talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks again.